I'm looking at the angular separation between the planets of Saturn and Neptune, and they come within 30 degrees of one another. Not exactly a conjunction, but pretty close relative to where they are in the next year or two. But there are planets that are coming into conjunction. If we change this to Jupiter and Neptune, we can see the angle in between them over the coming months. And on April, I believe this is April 8th of 2022, they come into conjunction. Now Mars and Jupiter also come into close conjunction almost the same time on May 30th. They come into conjunction. And how about Mars and Neptune? They come into conjunction on somewhere in mid-May, right? I hope to get a few good photographs of it. I'm surprised we didn't send something to Neptune. Usually you want to launch just a few years before Jupiter and whatever distant planet you're going to comes into conjunction. It takes about 3 years to fly to Jupiter. You get a gravity assist, and then it takes some number of years to go to Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. We launched for Saturn in 1997 because there was a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 2000. So I'm surprised we didn't send something to Neptune. But this is kind of scary news because the last couple of times we had so many planets come into conjunction, a lot of bad things happened. Mars and Jupiter came into conjunction on March 19th of 2020. I don't think I need to explain what happened next. Jupiter and Saturn then came into conjunction on December 21st, 2020. We had the second wave of the problem. We had all the meltdown with the election. We all know what happened on January 6th. Jupiter and Saturn also came into conjunction in 2000. Not long after that, we had, the 2000 election was pretty messy too, and then we had 9/11. In 81, Jupiter and Saturn also came into conjunction, and we had Reagan's assassination attempt. We had stagflation, where I think we already have stagflation this time around too. We don't want to admit it. We still think inflation is only 4 or 5%. And we say that people have dropped out of the labor force so when they can't find jobs. We play games with our hiring processes, right? We say that there's a labor shortage, but good luck trying to get a job, right? It's good. It's easy to get a lot of interviews, but getting a job, and it's kind of tricky. Just my own experience. Anyway, a lot of planets coming into conjunction. What's really sad is that we never seem to have a spacecraft at Saturn when Jupiter and Saturn come into conjunction. I'd love to see, from Saturn's point of view, Earth and Jupiter come into conjunction, right? We got the biggest rock and the biggest gas cloud in the solar system in conjunction. Never seem to have any. We missed it by a few years on both ends last time, right? All right. I suspect World War III is going to break out, or maybe a bigger wave of a pandemic.